What is up, bros? It's Josh here, and welcome to our mini-series for captain builds in World of Warships. As you all know, in 8.0, the captain skills were changed due to the CV rework, and that did affect normal captain builds throughout the entirety of the game. In 8.0, you were able to get free captain respecs, so I thought I'd make a quick little video over each nation and each class when it has to do with captain builds. Hope this video helps you out and gives you an idea of what to build your captain around now that you have the free captain respecs. Throughout all of these videos, I will not be including the legendary modules because so few people actually have them. These are going to be basic builds that will work for most players. Obviously, some of the legendary modules will change up the playstyle a little bit, but these are just basic builds for the majority of players that they can build off and then tweak them a tad over time towards their playstyle. So I will mention some of the legendary modules, however, I will not make builds around the actual legendary modules. In this video, we'll be going over the German Navy and my recommended builds for all of the lines within its tech tree. In this video, we'll be going over my recommendations for captain builds in order of the German battleships, the German cruisers, and the German destroyers. Time for the German battleships. Now, if we bounce over to the arsenal and check out the captains, if I remember correctly, the captains are pretty poopy when it comes to the German line. One for coal, one for doubloons. You can check those out, but their bonuses are pretty poop. Vigilance and Jack of all trades. Useless. Not worth grabbing these captains. You aren't going to be using these. You have hydroacoustic. You don't need vigilance. Jack of all trades. Not really worth it for a battleship captain. I don't see how you can take those in most of these builds. However, this is my build for the Grosse Kurt first. Now, as you go up through the line, you won't be taking as many of these this quick. And one of the main ones is manual AA, or manual, not manual AA, manual secondaries. So pretty basic captain right here. Again, I only have 2 points unspent. But what I would take is preventive maintenance, adrenaline rush, basic of survivability, AFT. AFT is fantastic, not because of the AA range, it doesn't affect that anymore, but because you are going to be going secondary builds. Yes, secondary builds. IGN line, also known for their secondary builds, you won't be taking it, but Germans, you're going to embrace the secondary builds. Yes! So you're going to be taking both the auxiliary armament mod 1, protecting those secondaries, as well as the secondary range and minus on the dispersion. You are embracing what the Germans are good at, and that's lighting everything on fire by RNG-based little guns that surround your ship. So AFT, you want that extra range. This will also help you as you go up because you are a prime target for CVs to pick on you because you're a big German battleship. So AFT is nice. The bonuses it does give you mainly for that secondary range. If you can early, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but starting at tier 8 is when you really want to pick up manual fire control. Manual fire control is going to make it so your secondaries shoot lasers. As you can see, tier 7 to tier 10, negative 60% of your dispersion for secondary armament. If you've ever noticed a German battleship without secondary or without this, they kind of just shoot all over the place. It's like fireworks going all over the place. When you are rocking this, it's like you have a laser pointer on your ship. So this is fantastic. Again, boosted with the module to drop 20% as well. So fantastic. And then obviously you can pick up, because you are going to be taking a tad more damage in this because you will be a tad closer. Picking up the extra heal is nice because you'll be using them early and often, as well as the extra hydroacoustic is awesome to avoid torps. Vigilance for the captain, not worth it because you have the extra hydroacoustic. Now, the last 2 points here is going to be up to you. Expert marksmanship is okay, but for me, I would actually take high alert. Again, you're going to be taking that. One of the things I wish I could take in this build, and one thing I'd have to do is probably drop superintendent for high alert, and this is something you could easily pick up if you wanted to do that. I just don't, is fire prevention. The main thing is you are going to be taking a lot of damage, so the extra fire in the middle is going to do that. But you are such a big ship that you have a higher chance of getting a fire in one of the outside ones. So this one, in my opinion, doesn't have as much control over protecting you. Some of the other ships kind of have superstructure that's a tad more condensed in the middle, so it happens a lot more. It can give you a lot more help. This is just such a big ship. The GK is huge. Again, though, fire prevention is fantastic, but you're probably going to have to give up superintendent, and you have to give up high alert for one less fire slot. I think you might end up getting more in the long run by avoiding more torpedoes, getting an extra heal, and then taking this. Again, that is just my preference. If you did take this, what I would take is maybe expert loader. You have this weird awkward point. Priority target doesn't really matter, I guess. I guess you could help take priority target and know when something is torping you. It would give you some information, but this is what I would take for German battleships. Tier 7 and under, stuff like manual secondaries isn't as strong. Tier 8, this is when this gets a lot of value, so just keep that in mind. But once you get to the Bismarck and you're getting that range, that's what you're looking for, that extra range on your German battleships. This is fantastic. Again, a line you aren't going to be able to take Concealment Expert on because you want to buff what the line is good at. So, sorry, Concealment, you're going to see us from the moon. Again, what is even our concealment right now? 15.9. Hell yeah, let's go. And then using this again on the German battleships too. This is something, I guess it's not a captain build, but I always go for the smaller caliber shells, not the bigger ones, because smaller caliber shells are basically better against everything else compared to the big ones, which just hit targets that are kind of angled at you better. You want more. Everything about the German battleships is more. So I guess that's not really a captain build, but this is what I run on the German battleships. Works for me, works for a lot of people, and you can embrace the secondary life. German cruisers, a very solid, stable line, and one of the best things is you get one of my favorite ships in the game at the end, which is the Hindenburg. But again, the captains aren't really going to help you out. Vigilance and whatever the other one is isn't going to do anything. So for cruisers themselves, this is going to be a pretty solid build. Again, we have 5 points we aren't using, but we'll get to those in a second. Priority target, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, and Concealment Expert. After that, pretty basic for most captains for cruisers. After that, I like picking up BFT. And then one of the main things is, again, if you can, at your 11th point, picking up Expert Loader. Expert Loader is awesome. Anytime you can get into a cruiser that has big 203s, you start getting 203s at tier 7 in the York. They were very punishing, and you can catch cruisers and other ships broadside. So you are able to really punish them. German AP is very solid. It's one of the things they're known for. Also, having really good pen on their HE is something it's known for as well. Expert Loader is a must for this line. You will feel like a new person, a new player, as soon as you have Expert Loader, because you're able to punish broadsides more instead of waiting for the entire reload. Very nice. But BFT at 14 is a great pickup, and you have a weird 5 points right here. So without needing AFT anymore, it creates a good mix of things you want to pick up. Now, something you could pick up easily is just manual fire, be a good balanced cruiser, but that's a little boring. So for me, this is what I would pick up. Demo Expert, because you want to set everything on fire when it comes to this, and then Expert Marksmanship, pretty basic for the captain. Again, this is a captain build you're probably going to see on a few of these cruisers and a few of these cruiser lines because it's just pretty solid. Radio location, you're not quite needed like I took on the Zhao. Manual fire for AA, it's nice. It gives a nice little bonus, but it's not as cool as lighting things on fire and getting a bunch of damage. A bit more defensive if you really want to go for it. AFT lost a lot of value in my opinion when it came to this. Vigilance, all this kind of stuff doesn't really mean anything to me when I'm in this ship. One thing you could maybe mess around with is getting preventative maintenance, although in my opinion, not really worth it. Outside of this, this is what I would run for my 19-point captain. Burn everything down, shoot them down with your AA, and get your targets faster, and then switch to ammo. This is fantastic build. You can't really go wrong with this. Outside of maybe a couple tweaks here and there for maybe a more competitive play, this is a good build that will get you to high damage and probably a high win rate along with it. Then you can just have a lot of fun playing these. German destroyers, and we're going to click over to the captain build, and surprise, we have something that you've seen on almost every one of my builds for destroyers. So again, a very standard build for DDs, and it's something that I love and am very effective in. Again, the premium captains, both with Cole and doubloons, have no impact on this DD, so they're not worth picking up for this. Priority target, last stand, survivability expert, and concealment. These are a very standard 10-point captain build for nearly every destroyer in this game, and you can't go wrong with it. I'm picking up radio location at 14, knowing where your enemies are, hunting them down, because remember, their German destroyer line is known for its hydroacoustics. And the one thing is the hydroacoustics have been buffed and leveled, so having a 6-kilometer hydroacoustic for an entirety of 2 minutes with a 6.1 kilometer detection. you can almost stealth radar for 2 minutes. Almost. But still, fantastic having that, and this is what the line is known for. But overall, a basic build is going to be this. You're going to pick up radio location at 14, picking up the extra superintendent. This is fantastic. I think you even start getting hydro. This has a lot of value even at tier 6, so picking this up is great. Again, you want survivability expert first. You will be using both your torps and both your guns, so using that is, you're going to want to pick up this, so having the extra life. And then adrenaline rush. Now, as I had with like the USN line, picking BFT for a lone wolf compared, this, you kind of want superintendent regardless of how you play, because you will have the extra smoke and the extra sonar. That sonar is so good. As soon as you can start getting those at tier 6, it's definitely worth picking up that point. And the speed boost and those are just awesome. So BFT, kind of harder to take on a lot of these builds. In my opinion, to take BFT or to really pick up anything else here, you have to drop radio location. I just don't see it. Demo expert does not have a lot of value on the German destroyers. You're going to be shooting actually AP a lot when you're in these DDs. HE is still solid, but AP might be your primary ammo when it comes to these DDs, because you can shred other destroyers and shred other cruisers with doing high AP salvos. So this is a very basic build. We'll get you there. I don't see a lot of fluctuation in points for most builds. One of the main things is picking up BFT. That's about it. Maybe this, but I just think superintendent is way too good for German destroyers, and this will get you a lot of success and a lot of damage output, being able to hunt down destroyers as well as pump out damage using all of your abilities. Well, that is it for the German Navy and my recommended captain builds for all the lines within its tech tree. In the end, it is up to your playstyle on whether you take these skills or not, but hopefully this was enlightening to you to show you the ups and downs of each one of the captain skills for each one of the lines within its tech tree. Hope this video helps you out. But that's it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.